All right, so now I'm going to go over here to where it says get user input, press enter, and I'll say name is going to be whatever was placed in that text box. Remember that text box? And let me see here. I gave that text box a name. Was it TEXT? What did I call it? Well, see, this is the beauty of the Hungarian notation. You know that all text boxes have an abbreviation of TXT. Wow, look at that. So Microsoft Visual Studio gives me this indication that it looks like I have this thing called TXT name. Is this what you're talking about? That's like Visual Studio talking to you right now. Is this what you're talking about? Yes, it is. So I could press tab or I could double click. That is exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the text box called TXT name. Dot. All right, so now I get a chance to look at all the properties. I've just opened up the toolbox for this text box and look at all of these properties that I have access to. Well, that's the one that I want, text. Gets or sets the text associated with this control. Yep, that's what I want. Give me the text associated with this control. And then finally, we're going to have a semicolon. C and C sharp, statements end with a semicolon. So in essence, what this line of code is doing is it's saying this. Notice how I'm reading from right to left because of this guy right here, the assignment operator. Get the text from this text box and place it into the variable name. Now, a more formal reading would be like this. Obtain the text from the text box and assign it to variable name. Okay, so that's what this line of text is doing. The next thing that I want to do is I want to attach the word hello to whatever the person typed in the text box, whatever their name is. So over here, I'll just do this. I'll say that the name variable is going to be, quote, hello, space, and then I'm going to put an addition symbol, and then I'll put the variable name. You're thinking, wait a minute, what is this? Well, if you don't think about this as a mathematical equation, and rather if you think about this as putting something on the right-hand side into the left-hand side, think of this as a box. So you're putting this content into the box, or maybe you're updating stuff inside the box, right? You're adding to the box. That's exactly what's happening here. What we're doing is we're taking the old value of name, we are going to concatenate, that's a 50-cent word that just simply means put this and this together. In this context, obviously, we're not adding numbers, and so I didn't say add. I said the word concatenate. Let me spell that for you. Concatenate. That's what this guy is. The plus symbol in this context is the concatenation operator. To concatenate means to put together. You are taking this and putting it together with this. I wish that you could see my hands. If I had a video, I'm clapping my hands together. I'm pushing my hands together. That's exactly what happened. This is one hand. This is another hand. I am pushing these two together. And now name used to be just the word Robert Solis, but now it's hello, Robert Solis. So this is the old value of name. This is the new updated value of name. The new updated value of name has the word hello in front of it, and see, that's why I put a space bar right there. Right, so it'll say hello, and then if this is Robert Solis, it'll say hello, Robert Solis. We are now ready to send this to the form. So over here, I'll click underneath output, and I'll say LBL. Oh yeah, that's the name of that label down here. This label down here, and I don't even have to remember the name of it. I just know that my convention is to give all labels LBL, and then I just look for the list that Microsoft gives to me, and it says over here that LBL result is one of the labels that are available. So I'll just either press tab or double click it like this. Dot TE, look at that, the text property. That's what I want. I want to affect the text property of this label. How do I want to do that? Well, I want you to assign name to it. So let me translate this C# code into English. Get the variable name and assign it to the text property of LBL result. So did you see how I read this from right to left? That's exactly what we need to do when we have this guy, which we're calling the assignment operator. And that's it. So if everything worked out okay, it should compile and run correctly, but let me just double check. So what I'll do is I'll click build, and you can either click build solution or rebuild solution. It doesn't matter which one you select. Down here, if everything succeeded, we should see the build succeed message. So it's compiling everything. Rebuild all succeeded. Nice. And so what that means, let me close this output panel. What that means is everything is okay. Let me make some deliberate mistakes. Okay, I'm going to deliberately get rid of that semicolon. Well, first of all, you see a red squiggly underline right there, and you know that that's supposed to be there. But let's see what happens when I click rebuild. Okay, so rebuild all failed. Now, sometimes these output messages can help you, and what I usually do is over here I'll just simply double click on this, and sometimes it takes me to the area. So let me put my cursor over here. I'm going to click over here, and I'm going to double click on this output message, and do you see how it took me to this? And it's saying, hey, this was expected. Okay, well, in this case, the output really did help me out, and it told me that I forgot to type in a semicolon. So I'll type a semicolon, and then that red squiggly underline goes away. Nice. Okay, how about this? Let me get rid of this assignment operator. And let me click build and rebuild. And so I've got some red squiggly underlines, which indicates some sort of an error. My output says that the rebuild all failed. It looks like I've got a couple of errors. So the rule is you always double click on the first error to take care of that, and then that might help you out with the rest of the errors. Now in this case it says syntax error, comma expected, and then over here it says semicolon expected. Well, clearly these two error statements are not helping me to identify the problem that I just forgot to put an assignment statement there, or assignment operator rather there. So as you can see, sometimes the output does not help. In fact, most of the time it doesn't help you. You just need to know by experience, looking where the error is, looking above and below to see what you missed. And probably you missed a semicolon, or you maybe misspelled something. That's the best way to fix your code. And we're going to have a separate lecture altogether when it comes to debugging. It'll be its own separate section. That'll really help you out when it comes to debugging the code. All right, so now that we're done with this, I'm going to start. So I'll click start, and we're going to run the program, and let's see how this thing works. So here's our form, and I'm going to type in Robert space Solis and click submit. Hello, Robert Solis. Beautiful. All right, so let me type in Jackson Paul, and then click submit. Hello, Jackson Paul. Yep, that works. How about if I just type in the word Joshua and click submit? Hello, Joshua. So you'll see that no matter what name is entered into the text box, when I click submit, it's going to concatenate the word hello with whatever was typed in to the text box, which in this case we're referring to that as name. Because remember, what is name? Name is whatever the text is for that text box, which is this guy over here. And so that's a really cool little program. Let me go ahead and stop the program. I'm also going to click on the output panel. This is a really cool starting program just to give you an idea of where we are going and how to proceed. All right, so this is Professor Robert Solis. I hope this video lesson was helpful. Have a good day. See you next time.